And we're back for a short break. Thank you very much. For our viewers, we have a special guest for today, no less than Attorney Evecar Cruz-Ferrer, who is a very good friend of mine back in our International Committee of the Red Cross and Supreme Court days. Thank you very much, Evecar, for granting us this special time of yours. I know you're very busy in your professional and personal life as well. And you're a very fruitful and productive person. So how are you today? And if you want to give a brief background of yourself for our viewers to know more about you.
Okay. Hi, Seth. So happy to be present in your channel and to grant this interview. So it's been a while, but I'm really happy to see you. So I'm Evecar Cruz-Ferrer. So I'm a lawyer by profession. And aside from that, I do a lot of teaching. I'm a law professor as well, and I'm also interested in a number of things. I love being active as I do taekwondo. I'm a black belter in taekwondo. I do running. And of course, like you, I really enjoy, program management. That's one of the things that both of us really share.
Thank you for that introduction. Yes, so you're very active nowadays as ever. So I really don't know how you find the time. I know you told me once that not to watch TV, which I've been doing for many years now. So we just have YouTube to actually to get more information or educational or creative videos from YouTube. So to start off with the question, what problem did you encounter before you start your career? And why was it such a big deal that you went looking for a solution when you did?
Actually, I don't think there was any problem that forced me to look for solutions. Why do I say that? Because for me, I don't see problems as something that aims to or is intended to derail me. Rather, problems are intended to enhance me as an individual, to equip me with the necessary skills to, allow me to face challenges that will come my way in the future. Because I guess it's the way you look at challenges or obstacles. For me, challenges are something that is intended to increase your capacity as an individual. So looking back, back in college, I remember I struggled with math. I mean, I really hated math even as a child. As in talagang like, if you look at my grades back in high school, grade school, like all of my subjects are like really high, but then you have math, which is like crazy. So I remember, so when I was in UP, I really struggled with math. And this made me realize that, I decided to, so back in UP, like I decided to shift courses because my original course was math intensive, which is business administration. So I decided like what I really wanted to study, even from high school, was philosophy. For some reason, I was really inclined with philosophy. So I decided to shift to philosophy, which was my second option when I took the OCAT. And then I realized that, having to shift from one course to another because of math, because I was really struggling with math, made me realize, wait a minute, this is an opportunity for me to enhance my ability to respond to challenges. So after that, eventually going to law school in Ateneo made me more resilient. It really made me more resilient in terms of, um, addressing challenges like associated with really difficult subjects. It allowed me to not see them as something to derail me, rather to really push me forward towards my goals and dreams.
Nice. 100% on that answer. So how did your career solve a problem you were experiencing? And how did you choose or implement your solution?
Again, if can you repeat the question?
How did your career solve a problem you were experiencing? And how did you choose or implement your solution?
Okay. So as a lawyer, if we're referring to career as a lawyer, there are many challenges. Like my area for as a background for your viewers, my area specialization is international law, specifically international humanitarian law or the rules of war. So when I started working for the ICRC in 2008, it made me realize that the Philippines is in fact experiencing numerous challenges in relation to non-international armed conflicts happening in the country. So as a context for your viewers, a non-international armed conflict will be an example of which would be the government versus, let's say, the NPA, or the government versus the Abu Sayyaf group. All these challenges has really, all this armed conflicts has created humanitarian challenges for Filipinos. So such as displacement, that's name it, various challenges. Now, when I started working for the ICRC, I realized that the country is experiencing decades of armed conflict. And as a lawyer specializing in this area, I now looked at how can I utilize my learnings in terms of program management, as well as my legal background, to somehow enhance the situation in our country. And one thing that I realized that the issue of armed conflict in the country is not limited to the legal aspect. Rather, it is about creating programs that would somehow help alleviate the situation in the field. So I'll give you an example. One thing that we've noticed is that education for the civilian population about the rules of war is severely limited. Very few actually realize that civilians have rights in times of armed conflict. So what we tried to do when I was working for the ICRC is create programs with the academe to include the rules of war in their curriculum so that early on, students who will become future leaders are educated that there are limits in armed conflict. Moreover, we've also seen that children are being recruited by armed groups to participate in armed conflict. So when is the best time to reach those students? Is it when they're already recruited? Or do we do it while they're in school and still willing to listen? So with this realization, what we opted to do was really include the rules of war as a subject, as one of the programs, include rules of war as a subject already in their college curriculum. And thereafter, when they become lawyers, when they become local leaders, or even if, let's say, assuming for the sake of discussion, they are recruited to an armed group, they know that there are limits as to what they can do in armed conflict situations. So that's just one of the examples.
Thank you for that refresher course on international humanitarian law. Very much appreciated. So why did you choose that career?
Actually, it came by as an accident and an opportunity. I wasn't really looking for it, to be perfectly honest. Just a brief background, when I was in law school, I was participating in international moot court competitions. So moot court competitions are mock courts. So I've been part of like two Philippine teams to international moot court competitions. And this developed the love for international law. And thereafter, when I became a lawyer, I joined the Supreme Court, specifically the Program Management Office of the Supreme Court. And with that career move, I got the opportunity to get the scholarship from the ICRC. That's where I met you. Like, I remember, like, you asked me, like, Evecar, would you want to take this postgraduate diploma on the rules of war, or IHL? And I was like thinking back then, like, where will I use it? I mean, where will I use it in the Philippines? But since it was for free, so it was a scholarship, free scholarship, I decided to take it. So that paved the way to this career. So it was really thanks to your, offer back then. I wasn't really considering a profession in this field. And thereafter, when I finished the course, an opportunity opened up with the ICRC. I tried to apply, and maybe it was fate, maybe it was really meant by God to be an opportunity for me to enhance and share my skills in this particular field. And then I found myself staying with the ICRC for a decade. So I've grown to love this particular field, making me realize that maybe this is a way for me to contribute to the country by using the skills that I have to make the situation in the field better for Filipinos. And not just here, but globally as well.
And to say the least, it changed the whole trajectory of your life. So working for a cause really changes lives, right? So were there any relationships, support, or features you love? And how did it feel to get help?
What do you mean in terms of features,
In your
help in what?
career, in your work, in your programs?
Okay. When we talk about assistance or help, more or less, I have this sense, I don't know what you think, but I have this sense so that everything that happens to us is not purely by chance. There are things that maybe are meant for you. But it doesn't mean that if something is meant for you, that without hard work, it will just be given to you. Opportunities are out there for you to grab and utilize. It's really upon the person to decide. It's really for the person to decide, yes, I want to take advantage of this opportunity. Yes, I want to give it my all. And I think that would allow you to maximize your potentials. So for example, like back then, thinking about it, I wasn't even considering IHL as a field. I just know it as a concept. And then I met you when I was working with the ICRC, an opportunity opened, and thereafter I found myself loving the field, working in this particular undertaking. I've met so many great people in the process. It opened up even more opportunities, even after I've left the ICRC and decided to I left the ICRC in 2019 because I really wanted to work uh, more intently in the government, in the Philippine government, in the sense that I want to expand further the opportunities and the skills that I have to help the government. Idealistic as it may sound, I don't want to be one of those Filipinos that complains about the situation in our country without doing something to change the status quo. I believe that you have no reason to complain if you haven't done your share to change the status quo. So I decided to leave the ICRC in 2019, do a lot more of teaching, join the government to contribute in whatever way. So for me, you have to feel the universe. You have to feel the trajectory you're being offered, and then just grab the opportunity as they come and maximize it to the best of your abilities.
100% agree. So what are your goals as a professional?
Okay, for now, actually, I'm quite excited about a number of things. Right now, I'm working with Rex Publishing. So I'm coming up pretty soon. We're almost done with the entire book, and it's up for printing already. I'm working on a book, Understanding the Rules of War in the Global and Philippine Context. So it's coming out this year. So really excited about that. It's the first book on the rules of war that is written by a Filipino author. So I hope that that work will contribute to the development of IHL in the Philippines. That's something I'm really excited about. And also continuing the teaching of IHL. I teach the rules of war in two law schools at present. specifically Ateneo Law, as well as the Polytechnic University College of Law. So it's really an opportunity to promote the understanding of IHL to a greater audience and to future leaders as well.
Congratulations in advance to your publication. I'm sure it will be a very interesting read, and I can't wait to get a copy, get hold of a copy from you as well. So, are you comfortable sharing data or metrics demonstrating your success? And what does success look like to you?
For me, success, cliche as it may sound, it's not an end goal. For me, you're successful if you're doing your utmost every day. Because if you view success as an end goal, then at a certain point, once you reach a particular level, you say, okay, I've attained success. But for me, you become successful by being very consistent on a daily basis. And you don't stop learning at a certain level. Like for now, I'm taking up my master's, my second master's now with Public Security Administration. And then I'm sure in the future, I would want to pursue further learning, enhance whatever skills that, God has given me so that I may be able to contribute and give back to the community.
You are indeed very productive and fruitful, and I can attest to that over the years of being good friends with you. So, what does a typical day look like for you as a professional? How did that feel, and what surprised you about it?
Oh, okay, typical day. I try to have a routine. So maybe I think I didn't mention earlier, I'm also a wife and a mom of two kids. So generally I begin my day by reading a book and meditating and exercising. So that's my daily routine. I make sure that my goal is to read at least one book every month, book that is different from work, not my not the book that I would read for work. So I take at least minimum, I give myself minimum of 10 minutes, no matter how busy I am. There should be 10 minutes of reading, and thereafter meditation, guided meditation. I find meditation as something that allows you to be more grounded, that allows you to deal with stress. For those who haven't, tried meditation, I strongly encourage people to practice daily meditation. And I make it a point to work out at least 30 minutes every day so that, you get the endorphins flowing, and it allows you to be very active at the start of the day. And thereafter, I go to work. Then in the evenings, I usually teach or attend my master's class. And after that, it's time for my kids, family. So we usually watch movies or series with my kids and husband.
I admire your physical fitness routine and your time management. So, what does your typical day make possible for you and your profession?
Again, sorry, what does my typical
Your
day
typical day make possible for you and your profession?
make possible? What do you mean make possible?
Like, how did it help you? The routine helped you a lot, for sure.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I think the routine has helped keep me fit. I exercise not for, to attain a certain physique, no, or to be thin or slim. That's not my intention. Exercise for me, it's something to keep me healthy, to allow me to do the things that I want to do in a way that is energetic and full of vitality. So for me, the meditation, the readings, and the exercise enhances not just my physical well-being, but my mental health, as well as, enhancing my knowledge about various issues.
What words of wisdom have you learned from a family, friend, colleague, or mentor that you can impart to our viewers? And how did it change your life for the better?
Okay. For me, one of the things that really worked for me, because one thing that I'm really happy about is that I have a very good relationship with my spouse, with my husband, JP. We've been married for so many years. We have two beautiful children. And one thing that I try to implement is knowing first your priorities. You should know what's important for you. And for me, family, God is in the top priority. Work can take the back burner, but as long as my family is healthy, we're all well, everything is okay. Everything can take second place. So communication and time for them, it's crucial. There are sacred times for for the people that I love. Saturday, Sunday, they're for them. Nothing, I mean, it's it's something that I try to implement uh in my personal life, and also communication. We always have open communication. We talk about things and we try to be as patient with each other. So, there's no such thing as perfect setup for everyone, but what you do to ensure that your priorities are in place is very crucial. And for me, that is something that I implement in my both professional and personal life.
You actually have a blessed life and a role model as well. So, finally, for the final question, can you go back to your pain points and identify specific fixes or bottom line impacts?
What do you mean by pain points? Just to clarify.
Like the trials or challenges in your life, how did you deal with it?
For me, for every trial or challenge that I encounter in life, the only the thing that I always, you know, think about and always try to remember is that God has always guided me in any challenge. I remember, just to share, there was this time when I was going to take the bar exam, and there was so much pressure for me to pass the bar exam because I come from a family of lawyers. And then I remember I was sitting, uh, studying, and then it was the week before the bar, and I was so pressured. And then all of a sudden, at, it's like God was speaking to me. I don't know how to explain it, but there was just this voice. And then that voice said in Filipino, "Kailan ba kita pinabayaan?" And then all of a sudden, I was just crying. And it made me realize that He has never, in all challenges, He has never, left my side. God has always seen me through all challenges. And I am sure from that time that bar will be okay. The bar exam will turn out well. And whenever I'm faced with any challenge thereafter, I just remember that incident. He clearly told me, "Kailan ba kita pinabayaan?" And whenever I remember that, I say, "God, I'm sorry if I ever doubted. I know you're always here." And that was really a reckoning, that's a reckoning point for me, and something that I always keep in mind for any challenge. Because I really felt it. Like he was telling me, "Kailan ba kita pinabayaan?" And I was like telling him, like, "God, alam ko never. Never mo akong pinabayaan." And I always keep faith. Kaya lahat ng challenge that I encounter, I am so confident. I can handle it. Academics, anything, I can handle it because I know never niya akong pinabayaan at hindi niya ako pababayaan. Sorry, I'm such a crybaby. I always cry when I remember that incident.
Thank you for sharing that very important season in your life. And yes, that's part of our sanctification. When the challenges in our lives come our way, that is actually when God carries us the most, right? So when those trials come our way, that's when we feel God's presence the most. So thank you so much for granting us this very special interview, Attorney Evecar, and I know you're going to attend the church service today. So you have the next appointment after this. And thank you also to our viewers for tuning in this session for today. And we hope that you learned something from this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you, Sis.